Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my VTI total U.S. stock market investment. This is just going over the ETF that I currently invest in, and this is part 2 of that previous video. And today we'll be talking about the breakdown of the ETF, the top 10 sectors, the top 10 stocks, companies that are invested in this fund. Like I said before, it has every single U.S. stock that's invested in U.S. stock market is in this fund. So we're going to break down the top 10 sectors that are involved in this fund. So let's get into it. And the first sector is technology. They're in it at 32.4% of the ETF is all technology. Those are like the Amazons, the Microsoft, the Apples, all the technology companies make up 32% of this fund. So technology makes the world go round. So you're gonna have a high in this fund. You're gonna have a high technology. And if you look at the stock market right now, it's all the tech companies that are making all the money right now. The Amazons, the Teslas, the Apples, the Microsofts. They're the companies right now that are spiking and doing great in the stock market. They always do great in the stock market because the technology, companies are all come out with the latest and greatest technologies. Phones, TVs, cars. So it's mostly technologies that's making things better for us now and in the future. Next up the list is we got consumer cyclicals. I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm assuming it's the things that consumers buy. Everyday things that consumers buy. Next we got healthcare, which is 14.28%. Healthcare, we all know what healthcare is. The doctors, the medicines, the hospitals. Then that's in at 14.28% of our ETF. Financials, which is the banks and anything to do with money and finances, they're in it at 13 point, and the banks, of course, 13.1% of our ETF is in financials. Industrials is like 9.6%. Like industrials would be with companies and factories, right? Nowadays, most companies and factories are going on automation now. They're squeezing out people. When I go shopping and I go to my local grocery store. All the cashiers are disappearing now. Now they have all self tellers now. I tend to go to the cashier myself because if you keep using those tellers, that means that's another job out the window. We've been going through this COVID-19 right now, and all these essential service workers like me. I'm also an essential service worker. We're out there every day, risking our lives for the better of the country and our community. And you go to these shopping malls, and you have all these companies that are getting rid of cashiers and putting in machines. They don't have to pay them nothing. That's not right. You should reward the people who are loyal to you. Well, here I'm rambling on. Back to the topic. Consumer non-cyclical. Again, I don't know what non-cyclical or cyclical means. So that's in there at 6.16%. Maybe somebody can send me a comment in the bottom of there to let me know what a cyclical is. Utilities. That's in at 2.8%. That's your electricity, your lights, your solar powered, all that kind of stuff. Utilities 2.8%. That's not a big chunk. Only because of utilities, it's a single utilities. We all use utilities, right? So it's nothing new. It's pretty boring. It's just electrical and electricity and power. So that ain't gonna grow much in it. Maybe in the future when we go solar and it'll take off. Maybe it's Tesla there being a energy company now. Maybe that utilities will go higher in the future. Basic materials, no idea what basic materials is, but it's in at 2.5%. Energy is in at 1.9%. Telecommunications is in at 1.6%. So those are the bottom end of the sector. Now, if we go to the top 10 holdings, we got Apple is in at 5%. We got Microsoft is in at 4.68%. We got Amazon's in there, 3.9%. Facebook, 1.2%. Alphabet. And for those of you who don't know what Alphabet is Google. Alphabet is the parent name for Google. So when you go into the stock market ticker to find if you want to invest in Google or buy some Google stock, you will say Alphabet. And also we got another Alphabet in there. It's at 1.4%. Berkshire Hathaway is in at 1%. For those of you who know Berkshire Hathaway, it's a company that's run by Warren Buffett. They say he's the greatest stock picker in history, one of the richest men in the world. And next one we got Johnson & Johnson. They're a great dividend paying company. They pay, these guys are the guys who will be the baby formulas and all the stuff, around the house, toilet paper. They've been around forever, Johnson & Johnson. They're not a very expensive stock to buy, but they pay a great dividend. You're guaranteed yearly. If you're investing, you want a good dividend stock. Johnson & Johnson just doesn't get much better than that. Procter & Gamble, another household name, has been around forever. Also a great dividend payer, good security. Just as the Canadian banks, those two companies will pay good dividends, and you never have to worry about it. Because those just the stuff they sell is the stuff we buy every single day, regardless of recession or depression. We all need toilet paper, as you can see in the news. Whenever there's like a spike in the COVID-19 or something like that, people go crazy and start stocking on toilet paper and disinfectant and wipes and everything. So that tells you if there's any kind of a recession or pandemic going on, toilet paper and cleaning utensils spike. And we got Visa at 0.9%, and then I think in a few weeks we're gonna have Tesla. Tesla will be the new in the top 10 for the thing. So out of the top 10 that I just listed right now, one of them will be bumped out of there and it will be replaced by Tesla. So I'm not sure which one will be going. My guess is it's gonna be Visa, or because they're at 1%. But we'll soon find out. One of them will be going though, but Tesla will be in there. They're going in as the largest company right now. The largest company in the stock market here. So they're gonna split them into two companies, but because they're so big, but they decided to just put it into one company. So, and that's it. That's the VTI Total U.S. Stock Market. Great investment tool if you wanna, invest in the total stock market. You have less worries. You don't have to worry about it now. You just treat it as a bank account and just invest your money in there when you can. Any kind of money you have, and you're gonna just put in there. You're averaging about 10% a year. Compounded over 20, 30 years. You don't have to worry about your retirement. You put 10%. They said the rule of thumb is to put 10% of your income into savings. But savings, you're not gonna get rich from saving. You'll get rich from investing. And if you're young, if you're in your 20s, here's an example I saw in one of the books I read. If you invested $100 a week, which is $400 a month, and you're 20 years old, you invest $400 a month into the Vanguard Vti there. You invest that for 10 years, and then you stop. So if for 10 years you're investing $400 a month into the VTI for 10 years, then you stop. And then by the time you hit 60, you're already a millionaire. You're worth about $2 million or something like that in change. So you can't go wrong, The thing about saving and investing, you don't all have to have money all the time. If you're working, you can invest 10% of your pay. You invest 10% of your pay. You automatically pay yourself first. So when you get paid, before you go shopping, before you pay your bills, 10% of your pay, you do the calculation, take it out, invest it in the Vanguard VTI, and forget about it. Investing in that's your future, your retirement. Now you see all these people that you see now in the US and Canada, all around the world. I'm talking about the rich countries, the developed countries. You have all these people in all these developed countries now. They weren't saving, they weren't investing in nothing. They were just, they're working, spending their money on restaurants and cars and trips and vacations. Nobody was thinking of a rainy day because nobody saves anymore. Nobody invests anymore. Now they say 10% of your pay. If you know money and you understand money, 10% of your pay First thing you do is you do your calculation, 10%. If you make $1,000, $100 comes at your pay. Invest it in I would invest in the VTI, but don't forget, I'm not a stock advisor. I'm not giving you stock advice. This is just for my personal journey. So this is just for educational purpose only. Do your own due diligence. Don't take my advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube telling you my financial journey. But if you invested, 10% of your pay, first thing you do is take 10% out of your pay, invest it religiously. Think of it as, that's for your future. Like I said before, you have a lot of people in the world now, they're struggling because they weren't investing nothing. They got paid, they bought a new car, they're going shopping, they're going on vacations. Now we're in a pandemic now. People, they don't get paid they don't get paid for a month. They can't pay their mortgage, they can't pay their car payments, they can't eat food, they need to pay it from the bank. If you're prepared for, you can't prepare for everything. But if you're putting 10% of your money away, each paycheck, put it away and invest it and forget about it. Don't think about it. Just put it in there and forget about it. It could be there for a rainy day. In 20 years, when it's 30 years, who knows what the future will hold. You can get sick. You can have an ailment. You can get injured at work. If you don't take care of yourself, invest in yourself and your family, who's going to do it for you? You can see right now that the whole world is turned upside down now. People are starving. People don't have money for their bills. It's going great now because everyone is getting stimulus from the government. But eventually those stimulus are going to end. And then what's going to happen? Foreclosures, bankruptcies, homelessness, all because people weren't investing. They weren't preparing for a rainy day. So if you take nothing away from my videos, take this: invest, 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 and invest in your future and your family. Don't leave it on somebody else to do it for you. Take care, God bless, and good night.